Meeting the order of the County Commission. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call for the June 8th meeting. Josh.
Here.
Tranby.
Here.
Zorn.
Rod is here. Hold on. I have you on speaker.
We're to the roll call portion of this. Rod. Zorn.
Here.
Present. Edlund.
Here.
And Wakefield is here. Let's move on to the approval of the agenda with the addition of the sheriff's budget. It's just basically going to be presenting the budget because we don't approve those until the whole process is over. So it's just handing us the paper and letting us have a look at it. So have a look at the agenda. And when you're satisfied with that, we'll need an approval with the addition of the sheriff's department's budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with Bob, Sheriff on it.
I'll second it. I know that's
Motion by Tranby to approve the agenda with the addition of the sheriff's budget. A second by Abriel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Agenda approved. Have a look at the May 18th meeting minutes. When everybody feels comfortable with them, we'll need a motion, and I assume the motion will include dispensing with the reading. Yeah, see, it wasn't put on. The commission will discuss Sheriff Hook's safety vest, county website, and the county tax equalization at the next meeting. So it was not added at the last meeting.
Yeah, but I remember you saying no. You said we'll have Bob here next time to discuss it.
Yeah,
You know.
well, but he never got a hold of anybody.
Okay.
So,
I remember that.
yeah,
you saying
he
that.
had the option of that,
So,
but it was never added to it. So I don't know.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Huh?
The minutes?
Yeah, the minutes. No.
You said agenda, I think.
Oh, sorry. The minutes as presented. Sorry.
So we have a motion by Tranby to approve the agenda. Now we got me saying it, to approve the minutes as presented. I assume we're going to dispense with the reading.
Yes.
Do we have a second to that?
I'll second.
Second by Edlund. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Let's have a look at the bills. Sam, anything stand out there?
Nope. There's just the one to the EMC insurance company, and that was for the new courthouse.
Where's that at?
EMC.
And that's
Insurance.
for what? This isn't the state fire and radio. No.
No.
I make a motion to approve the expenses.
We have a motion to approve the bills as presented. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. Discussion a little bit. So the bill, this EMC insurance, is actually a bill to the building authority. And under the lease agreement, the county is obligated to pay the insurance. So we're paying it on behalf of the building authority.
Okay.
So if you have anybody looks at the invoice, it is actually to the building authority. But that's the county's obligation via the lease. Any other discussion?
See, we got a culvert, Wayne.
Yep.
Barring no further discussion, we will have a voice vote on this. Avriel.
Aye.
Tranby.
Aye.
Zorn.
Aye.
Edlund.
Aye.
Wakefield votes aye. Bill's approved. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Now, if you have a look at the monthly office reports, I don't think there's anything out of.
I make a motion to approve the monthly office reports.
Evidently, there was a motion by Hedlund to approve the monthly office reports. Do we have a second? She's either a speed reader or she did her homework.
Well, we do get these things the day before.
I'll make a motion to approve the monthly office reports.
Motion by Tranby to approve the monthly office reports. Could I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Edlund. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Sorry. Reports approved. Wayne.
Yes, sir. For last meeting's minutes, it says discussion on the Ackerman Esphalt situation, which I think Jamie is here for also. We did have a Teams meeting on the 7th of June, 11 o'clock. And the present were Tim Aarons, PE from Ackerman Esphalt, Brian Fuchs from North Dakota DOT. Griggs County State's Attorney Jamie Tennyson and I. The meeting was to discuss supplement request number 1, contract 382-20685, to increase the original contract by $8,752.01. This would increase the authorized amount of $48,727.68 to $57,479.69. Compensate for additional engineering time to be spent on the project. Our local share of the supplement would be $1,750.40. And probably let Jamie report on what was decided.
Well, I don't like it, but I'm going to recommend that it be paid. It is an fault of Ackerman Esphalt. It's the contractors, but they're not outside the scope of their contract. So I still think they brought a knife to a gunfight, but that's apparently not uncommon. And I guess it's something that we're going to get stuck paying.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not something that Ackerman Esphalt did. It's the contractor. The contractor, in my opinion, didn't do the job as quickly as they should have because they didn't have the equipment there, but they didn't reach any of the terms of the contract because they got to finish in time. So I don't think there's anything that we can do, and unfortunately, because the contractor didn't do it in time, we get stuck paying that money, and we really have no recourse against the contractor.
Yep. As I stated when we started this thing, eventually we're going to end up paying it, but it's worth the effort to point out that the taxpayers are the bottom rung of this whole ladder, and they're not granted any recourse whatsoever, and they're abused at every turn, and everybody above that rung helps with the abuse. And just because the contract reads in such a way doesn't mean that we should be abused like that, but you're correct. It's going to cost more money, and we're going to lose because the system is stacked against us. That's what there is to it. We don't have lobbyists in Bismarck lobbying for Griggs County, but they do have lobbyists in Bismarck lobbying for the contract.
They have extremely high-paid lobby out there.
And that's the long and short of it.
So,
So
motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I mean, I think that's the only thing we can do. Ackerman Asphalt did the work, but the right thing to do would be for the contractor to take that money off. In my opinion, like I said, they brought a knife to a gunfight, but they're not outside the terms of the contract.
No. But, and of course, in future evaluations, this can reflect upon the contractor, of course.
Right.
Yeah. So, what was the amount, Jamie?
It was $17.54.
50, 40?
$1,750.40.
$40.
Okay. Ackerman Asphalt.
Yep, but we don't pay that bill. What we do is make a motion to go along with the supplemental request.
Okay.
And then I will contact North Dakota
I got
DOT
it.
and they'll make a new contract. Send it back and then
So,
the chairman has to sign it.
yeah, so I'll need a motion to approve Ackerman Asphalt supplemental request for the project in question.
I'll make that motion, John. So,
Motion by Tranby, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Avriel and Zorn. This will be a voice vote. Aye in favor, nay opposed. Avriel.
Aye.
Tranby.
Aye.
Zorn.
Aye.
Edlin.
aye.
I should bring one more thing up regarding this. But
No.
it's something that's important, I think. So, one of the things the engineer said is interestingly is if they get more complaints like this, they're just going to have to add more fees to the original bids.
Great.
So, which isn't right. I mean, they should be holding in the bids, and the contract should be holding the contractors to the fire because they're the ones that are working for us. And it's ridiculous that they do that to the taxpayers. Like John said, the taxpayers get abused.
Wakefield votes no. Motion approved.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's
So,
all I got.
thank you. Let's go to the county website. No?
We are still waiting on the third bid. I talked to Travis and he'll be here at the next meeting. Hopefully be here at the next meeting.
Bob, let's talk about your vest.
Okay. So I put money into the coming budget for that, so if you want to wait till budget time, we can just deal with it then.
So at the same time, you present the budget to us. We don't approve individual budgets, of course. We just talk about them.
Great. So what I'd say today, John, then is, Chairman.
No, John's good.
Okay. I would, I'm just offering you guys my budget information, and the only thing I'll talk about it is on there's highlighted items that are additions to last year's budget, and I would like to be at the next meeting to explain and talk about this budget. It's not that it's not that basic. There's
Yeah.
some things you just need to talk about, and you guys can formulate questions in the meantime, and we can just deal with that if that works.
On the on the vest, can we, it's in here, but can we give money for it now? I guess my question is for that.
Well, I guess
Right?
that's up to
You follow what I'm
commission.
saying, so you get it now.
You know, I can get by until then.
Yeah, well,
but,
it's not quite.
You know,
Yeah. Is there money in the budget you
Yeah.
have now
No.
to go get?
There isn't any.
no.
Can you find some way to get him some money for that, John?
Well, yeah, we can, if, with the commission's approval,
Yeah.
we can overspend his uniforms budget, I would imagine.
Yeah, so
Okay.
And with the commission's approval, that can be done. So if,
I'll bring that to the next meeting. If you
Okay.
need. We'll deal with it that way.
Well, we could-
just so that we're not hanging out there and someone shoots you in the meantime.
Yeah,
I've got a vest.
You've got a
it's-
vest.
It's old.
Okay,
You know, but-
all right, bring it to the next meeting then.
Yeah. So anyway, if you got any questions about what I handed you today, ask me now, and then I explain that real quick, what it, and then put it here on the face value. Otherwise, I'll just be at the next meeting and we can talk about them piece by
Okay.
piece.
Give everybody some time to digest
for
it.
sure.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't have questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob. Be careful.
Talk to you in a bit.
Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Nothing I know of.
Nothing. Okay. He's the old courthouse, new courthouse, or old courthouse guy, so that's why I was looking at him.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Unless I'm going, it's a big hole somewhere for it. I didn't say that, did I?
Are we gonna look at finishing updating the National Registry?
I don't know.
For us to do anything with the courthouse, we have to have the National Registry updated. The last time it's been updated was 1977.
Yep. So,
And we started the steps already to update it.
yep. The sticking point has always been money.
Yeah.
And if we spend money not knowing whether or not the citizens are going to approve whatever it takes to tear it down, because we're going to have to go to the citizens. I assume this is going to be more money than we could budget. It's going to have to be done on a bond or something like that because of the complexity of all the regulations. So if we spend money and then are denied finishing the project, the money went into the toilet. So we pretty much have to lay everything out, get expenses for every last dime it's going to cost until the last blade of grass is planted over the hole, and then present that to the citizens.
Basically a quote on everything and tell them this is what's going to cost you if you guys want to tear it down.
Yes, because we never asked for money before. All we did was ask for, and it was an advisory vote, it wasn't binding,
Yeah.
and all it was just to get the pulse of, and that was 8 years ago.
Think it's changed by now? No?
Well, it doesn't matter, we
No.
still have to have the funds to do it.
No, I know.
So,
Yeah.
that's really the only way I can see doing it, because we could theoretically spend tens of thousands of dollars
I don't know.
and then put it to vote of the people, and the people say no, and then you have to explain why you spent that money without being able to move forward. So at first look, everybody that comes in here into the commission looks at it and says that should be an easy thing to do, but as you see, it's complicated
Well,
beyond
just-
belief, by design, by the way.
Just for the Historical Society part, it's probably going to be 20,000 because the plaque alone is what, $3,000 or something, you know. So
you understand the complexities of it,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating, but what happens is, of course, because there doesn't seem to be a way forward, we just come to a standstill.
is there a special part in the budget that money gets allocated for, or have we allocated in the past for the old courthouse or anything like that?
No.
But isn't there a fund for Jamie for something like this, right, Jamie?
Sam, you know, no.
I don't keep track of the budget.
Well, I mean, wasn't there some money, how do I put it?
Any monies that were allocated for a courthouse were, when that one was moved out of, were transferred over to the courthouse.
Courthouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
There's like courthouse and grounds that
yeah.
we've used.
So there's
Oh, okay.
so the money that's in that fund, of course, can be used for that old courthouse. It can be used here, but the point is, what do the people we represent want us to do?
And even if they do approve it, we won't be able to do it within a year or two because we'd have to start allocating funds away once.
Well, you can't put funds away. You can't budget more than a year ahead of time. And
Right.
the amount of money that's going to take to do this will be over and above what we could budget on our own. So it's going to have to go. There's going to have to be money borrowed. In order to borrow money, you have to go to the citizens and you have to get a 60% approval for a bond.
Okay.
And so that would be the process.
Okay.
Daunting process. And then you realize that it's never going to be 100% approval. So no matter which way you go, you're going to have probably 60%
Right.
on the other side of it, fighting it the whole time.
Right.
And it's going, well, you know, it's going to be.
Right.
And guess who's going to be sitting in the middle of that?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why ideally, if we could get the Historical Society to step up, and then with our help, maybe some monies on a yearly basis to maintain it, that would be ideal, I believe. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So, tape record this conversation because I've had it 15 times already, and we'll have it again, then that's fine. But unless someone comes with a different idea, we're at a standstill.
The next step, is there a way we can get numbers on everything and then bring it to them, or how do we go about doing that? Get an estimate.
Yeah, you'd have to. Well, I think where you'd start. I think you'd start at the very other end of it. I think at the biggest expense is where you'd start. So I think you'd put out bids to what it would cost to tear it down, and then move this way.
Who does that? Jamie does that since he's been working on it, or who goes out and?
No, that would be. We would have to write up a contract, a preliminary contract, and the scope of the work to be accomplished, and we would have to spell out every last federal and state regulation associated with it, and then we would have to put that out for preview to all the contractors, then we would put it out for bids, with the stipulation that this is dependent on funding, it's non-binding, dependent on funding, and then we would have to also put in there that from the time it was bid, that price would escalate with increase the cost. So it's going to be a cost plus contract.
Because whatever number we give them, it's going to be more expensive in the end, just because the cost of everything.
Because we're going to be tied, by the time we get the bid, we're going to drag it out years, or the Historical Societies, or someone's going to drag it out. And so it comes down to what's the best use of taxpayer money and what's the best use of our time, and because our time is the taxpayer's time. So there's where that stands. If somebody's willing to step up and try to do this, Mark, when he came on board, that was his mission. He was going to get that done. Well, Mark served out his term and he went away, and he tried hard, but nothing changed. So that's where we're at on that. So there might be something that, and I thank Stephanie for getting us part of the cost for what we're going to do, and that's said, unfortunately, we need all of it, and we need the commitment.
Right. Well, I just got the National Registry portion of it, from Historical Society, to be able to just get that done.
Okay.
But
so,
that's just the very beginning,
Well, I may as well talk about it now that we're talking about it. So the other side of the coin is, do we get the National Registry updated, and then do we try to apply for funding grants to maintain the thing?
That's the trick. Yeah.
So that's the other side of it. But in order to do that, it needs a sponsor, and that's where this County Historical Society would come in as a sponsor. So.
And we haven't had a meeting yet, so.
No, so that's something to think about. But that's where we're at.
So we're kind of stuck in the middle right now. We're not really. Can't really go anywhere at all.
The minute that it was tied to the grant dollars for this building, we were stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Because it requires
all these approvals to do it. right?
Well, actually, it requires that it be maintained in perpetuity, or it can't deteriorate. And if we do tear it down or don't maintain it, then the grant dollars have to be paid back. So it's going to cost $1 million to tear it down. It would cost $1 million to let it fall apart.
Well, if we're going to,
$2 million to let it fall apart. You'd have to pay back the
Well,
grant
that's,
and
that's,
tear it down.
that's the dilemma. You let it disintegrate, and then
right. Well, and if you update, if let's say the thought is to update the National Registry, just so that's done, we would have to put it in next year's budget. You know, the budget that we're currently working on for next year, or just for funding wise.
Do we even know the costs on that?
We have a guesstimate cost. You get
To update the Nate. But
National
that's
Registry.
updating the National Registry to get rid of it, not to keep it.
That's just updating the National Registry to update the National Registry.
Okay.
And then once we update it, then they can review it and see if they approve to take it down or not. But that just updates the registry as to how far it's updated. All the information.
Basically, to get us to the next step.
Right.
Let's see. There we go.
Because it's like it's done. Last time it was done was 1977, and that's when they first put it onto the registry.
That's right.
And then we haven't done anything. So whether I don't know, maybe we should update it just so whether we keep it or not, it's still updated at the state level. I don't know. That's what I thought. Is like, well, do you want to update it anyway so that's done? So in case you move forward or get grant money, if we find grant money to maintain it, they're going to have to probably have it updated also.
So the only way to apply for the grant money through the federal side of this, and probably the state, because all the state money comes into the federal anyway,
right,
is to have it updated so that they can look at the project.
Right. So it's kind of like.
So we need to decide, but not right now. But we need to decide what direction we're going to go with this thing. But in order to decide what direction we're going, we need to know some approximate costs. And I'm just speculating what it would cost to tear it down. I have no idea.
Oh, to tear it down. I thought it was just to update the registry. Because
I think there would be a lot less pushback from the community if we could get grant money and outside money to maintain it. I think the people that would want it tore down because it's not because it's an eyesore, but because it costs money.
Right.
And if we could defer that, I believe, over to this side and say, no, it's not costing any money. Here's how it's being taken care of. I think that might be the point of least pressure. But I don't know that either.
I'm willing to do some legwork. I did get some of those costs to do the update, the registry, but the plaque part has nothing to do with it. Just to update the registry, it's going to be just those three. I did get those 3 quotes. We could put them together next time so we can see all 3, just to update the registry. One of them was astronomical.
And maybe to update it to keep it is a different procedure than update it to tear it down. Because the update it to tear it down is trying to preserve the record. To update it to keep it, the record's still there.
Right.
So I don't know any of that either.
Update the registry. Well, Lorna would know.
She would be in favor of trying to keep it intact. So you're going to get a lot more. Not that she isn't going to be helpful both ways, but she could be more helpful if you're going to keep it.
I am willing, unless Jamie wants to, contact Lorna to ask her about this.
So if that's the case, if that's the case, then we'll need a motion allowing Stephanie to contact Lorna for information only, not sending us in any direction, but for information only about our options on this, keeping it or getting rid of it. If that's the way you want to go, we'll need a motion. If not, that's fine.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Tranby to allow Stephanie to contact the State Historical Society for information and options on how we can proceed, both keeping this courthouse or getting rid of it. Is that correct? Second to that.
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. Any further discussion? Barring no discussion, we'll have a vote. Avriel.
Aye.
Tranby.
Aye.
Zorn.
Aye.
Edlund?
Aye.
Wakefield votes aye. Good luck, Stephanie. Okay, I think we should recess the county commission meeting, and with that, I'll need a motion to recess the meeting.
I'll make a motion to recess the meeting.
Recess the meeting, motion by Tranby, a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Zoran, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Meeting recess, county commission meeting, in order to close this thing out.
Yep.
So the equalization meeting was recessed at 4:31. So we'll need a motion to move back into the regular Griggs County Commission meeting.
I think you just open it because you just recess, so now you just reconvene the
Yep,
meeting.
reconvene, yep.
Yep. Just read, yeah.
Okay, reconvening the Griggs County Commission meeting, and we were down to future business.
So you want to put Bob Hooks on this budget thing on there?
I think all the budgets.
All the
are on
budgets will
there.
be discussed at the
The next time, okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fine, okay. And then of course,
And then county website will be,
yeah, it's good.
and then the sheriff's protection vest again, correct?
Yeah. Anything else you can think of?
Well, the tax equalization
Yeah.
meeting, county equalization meeting should be on there.
Yeah.
Any other future business?
If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, Tranby, to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll say that.
Second by Averill. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, 4:32 p.m. Next meeting Thursday, June 22nd at 2:30 in this chambers.